Meeting 2021 is back in session at 10 o'clock, and we do have a hearing, and I'm going to turn this over to Sarah.
Resolution number 21-991, reconvening the public hearing for consideration of a petition from Lake of the Woods Water Company requesting dedication of a 3.136 acre segment of Duncan Glenn's Drive as public right-of-way.
So moved.
And I second it. Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-991. Mrs. Lewis has recused herself as she is a resident on that road. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-992, in the matter of approving for a specific occurrence, a suspension of Rule 3 speaker registration, Rule 4 limitations, Rule 7 public comment procedure from rules governing the public comment before the Board of County Commissioners of Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
And I second it. Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-992. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Durbin?
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to go through the ground rules that we will follow in this hearing. And so this is for the proposed dedication of a 3.136 acre segment of Duncan Glen Drive as a public right-of-way. There is a sign-in sheet circulating the room. You may have seen it if you came in. We ask that you sign that. This is what will happen remainder of this hearing. We're going to hear an update from the county engineer or his representative. We'll take any questions from the board. And again, Commissioner Lewis recused herself since she's a resident of that area. So that's the reason Commissioner Lewis is not with us. We'll hear additional testimony from all those opposed to the improvement after we hear from those in favor. And you'll be asked to take an oath if you choose to testify. And we'll continue back and forth. If new information comes up or additional people wish to speak, we just ask that you not be redundant. Then we'll take any questions from the board. And the board may continue this hearing to another day, or the board may close the hearing. After the hearing is closed, the board will decide and determine that the dedication of the 3.136 acre segment of Duncan Glen Drive as a public road would serve the public convenience and welfare. That's what we're here to determine today. With that, I will turn this over to the County Engineer's Office.
Okay, good morning again. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. Our office has prepared a final report in this matter, and please your board, I'll go ahead and read that. Final report on a petition to establish Duncan's Glen Drive as a public road in Genoa Township, Delaware County, Ohio. Pursuant to petition filed on November 14th, 2019 by the Lake of the Woods Water Company in accordance with section 5553.04 of the RISE Code, requesting that Delaware County Board of Commissioners adopt a resolution dedicating a 3.316 acre segment of Duncan's Glen Drive as a public right-of-way. And as an addendum to my report previously filed February 14th, 2020, I hereby submit this final report for the matter in question. Duncan's Glen Drive is an existing private roadway situated in Genoa Township, commencing in the center line of Red Bank Road, running in a southwesterly direction for approximately 2,350 feet, terminating near the intersection of Robin Hood Circle. The road was constructed circa 1959 as part of the construction of the Lake of the Woods No. 3 subdivision. Pursuant to discussion at the hearing held February 20th, 2020 in this matter, representatives of the water company stated their intention to proceed under option 1 to make the necessary improvements specified in my original report. Representatives of the county engineer's office were involved in the monitoring of those improvements and have performed a final inspection thereof, and have found the work has been completed in a satisfactory manner. Accordingly, it's my opinion that your board should proceed to grant the prayer petition and establish Duncan's Glen Drive as a public road as follows. Limits Red Bank Road to a point 50 feet south of the intersection of Robin Hood Circle. Length 0.445 miles. Stop conditions. Duncan's Glen shall be the through road at Walnut Hall Drive, Ferndale Place, and Robin Hood Circle. Respectfully submitted this 14th day of October 2021. Chris Bosman, Delaware County Engineer.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Any questions from the board?
Rob, kind of maybe stating it another way, the road has now fixed, if you will, it meets county road standards.
It does, that's our opinion. The residents, Lake of the Woods Water Company formerly, have made the necessary repairs and upgrades to bring it up to a public road standard. And we find that it meets all the necessary requirements.
And that was a concern, I think, expressed by the board earlier, that to be reassured that that had taken place. Okay. Any other questions? So at this point, we will hear testimony from those in favor of the dedication. Anyone here who would like to speak in favor of the dedication, please come forward. Introduce yourself, your address, and now we'll swear you in.
Sure. Jim Lewis, 9230 White Oak Lane in Westerville, Genoa Township.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Proceed.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm representing the Lake of the Woods Water Company and the Duncan's Glen Road Committee here today in favor of this petition. This has been a 9-year-long project. I've been involved in the last 8 years of which we can assure you that we are presenting an excellent road. We just finished it last Monday. We almost had to continue this again. I'd like to thank Jennifer Walraven and Sarah DeNovo for the excellent work you've done in notifying all of our residents. We almost had to do it again. Fortunately, we didn't. We want to really thank and acknowledge the professionalism of the Delaware County Engineers Office. Chris Bowserman is outstanding, Rob Riley, you just heard from, but especially Doug Riedel, who's here today. He's the Senior Project Managing Engineer and the Township Liaison. He's been terrific. One of his subordinates, Engineer Mike Sider, spent hours and hours in the rain, in a snowstorm, a thunderstorm, on hot days, out with the tar working. These folks are real public servants. Delaware County really ought to be very proud of our engineer's office. I'd also like to publicly thank Mark Bruck and Mark Davis, who are our general contractors on our road projects. We've also received great cooperation from Genoa Township, particularly their administrator, Paul Wise. I'd like to also thank the directors of, board of directors of the water company, in particular Tom Stickrath, Greg Fort, and Jim Adams, who's here. Jim has been working on this project for 9 straight years, so he's rather happy to be here today to see what we hope will be the end of it. Also, I'd like to compliment and thank our attorneys, Mike Shade and Matt Keir, who have done a terrific job. Unfortunately, we did have some litigation we had to work through, but they did a great job for us on that. Also, I'd just like to acknowledge my fellow road committee colleagues, Renee McRary, who cannot be here today, Dennis Yacobosi, who's unable to join us, but we do have Michelle and Jeff Murdoch back here, who worked very, very, very hard on this project. I'd also like to thank one other person who suffered through this project for 8 years, and that's my dear wife, Commissioner Barb Lewis, who, for obvious reasons, has recused herself. But she did not recuse herself from all the stress and heartaches, et cetera, that I've been through for the last 8 years with my colleagues. So with that, we hope you'll approve this motion.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak in favor of the dedication of the petition? Yes, ma'am. Provide your name and your address, and I'll swear you in.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Paul Wise. I'm the Genoa Township Administrator. Address 5111 South Old 3C Highway, Westerville, Ohio 43082.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Proceed.
I'm here before you today as a township official. In the past, the process for accepting roads that have been private has been not as well examined as this road has been in the past. In the past, we've had commissioners accept the private roads that the following year, the residents came to the township and requested the road be repaved because they didn't like the looks of it and it was cracked, et cetera. So in this case, with the brand new road, I appreciate all the work that the Lake of the Woods folks have done to get this up to the standards of the county. And the township would be glad to take this road over in this condition and enter it into our road replacement schedule, which is currently 20 years. So I appreciate it, and we support this petition. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of the petition? I will ask one more time. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of the petition? With that, we'll move to anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the petition. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition to the petition? Thank you. Any comments from Commissioner Pitton?
No, not really.
You want
Again, sorry that it took 9 years from start to finish, but we are at the finish line, and that's good.
Sarah, I'll ask that you read to close the hearing.
Resolution number 21-993, in the matter of closing the public hearing for consideration of a petition from the Lake of the Woods Water Company requesting dedication of a 3.136 acre segment of Duncan Glenn's Drive as a public right-of-way.
So moved.
And I second it. Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 21-993. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
I would direct the clerk to read the...
We need to have a comment from Eric first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do have, Eric Hostetler, staff attorney. I do have one question for Rob. There was some information I need clarified on the stop conditions. In the report, you mentioned that Duncan's Glen shall be the through road at Walnut, Hall Drive, Ferndale Place, and Robin Hood Circle. The resolution that we have submitted indicates a stop condition for Duncan's Glen at its intersection with private road Robin Hood Circle. So I just want to make sure we have the correct information.
Yes, I believe that's the case. Our report was an error in that case. We would recommend the stop condition at Robin Hood.
Okay, and that's in addition to obviously the stop condition at Red Bank Road?
Correct, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we had the right information.
So I didn't follow all that. We do have the right information?
The resolution as drafted is correct.
Okay. So with that, we can proceed.
Proceed with.
I would ask the clerk to read the matter, read the resolution to approve the petition.
Resolution number 21-994, in the matter of granting the petition of the Lake of the Woods Water Company requesting dedication of a 3.136 acre segment of Duncan's Glen Drive and establishment of the same as a public road.
So moved.
And I second it. Discussion? I'd just like to say that based on the testimony today, and certainly from the county engineer's office and from representing township, Mr. Wise, and from the residents, it seems obvious that we should support this, and I will support it with the vote. Any other comments?
No, I think it's been, unfortunately, a long process, but we are at the point where the road is, as in the opinion of the engineer, up to our standards that we want to see, and the township administrator wants to, is good with acquiring the road, so that's the recommendations of the experts, and I'll support it as well.
Then I call for the vote.
Vote on motion 21-994. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. Thank you very much. I do believe we have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 21-995, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, employment of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
I second it. Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-995. Mrs. Lewis is absent. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
With that, we are now in executive